Hey everyone, welcome again to the Prince George's African American Museum and Cultural Center. We're excited to interact with everyone out there who is tuning in from the community. And we're also excited in very specific detail as it concerns our first edition for our new series, Virtual Pride and Place Parlor. And this Pride and Place Parlor is going to be geared around celebrating the diversity of positive experiences from residents throughout our beloved county. And we're going to be able to discuss more of what this cultural landscape looks like. Now, when it comes to the questions we'll be asking, we have several questions, 5 in particular, that every person interviewed will be answering. And all these questions we're asking because we want to give everyone out there who is a part of our community a demonstration of what it looks like for residents to share what it looks like to take pride in the space and the place of Prince George's County. We want to put these interviews out there for everyone to have a deeper connection with the ways that Prince George's County means so many different things to different people. And so with that being said, it's my pleasure to introduce you to the person that I'll be interviewing a person this week. So Mayor Feld, if you can take the ball away, we'll go from there.
All right, here's an introduction to Marva Jo Camp. Marva Jo Camp is an attorney in private practice. Her specialties include governmental relations, real estate transactions, and land use for nonprofit governance, small minority and women-owned businesses, governmental agencies, and trade associations. Ms. Camp has been working on the local, state, national, and international levels. Her works include serving as counsel for several large mixed-use developments, counsel for citizens, complaint oversight panel, Maryland Board of Property Review, tax and staff counsel for the United States Congress, member of a presidential transaction team, consultant to the African Development Bank, and director of government and community outreach for Bowie State University. Marva Jo Camp has also represented Prince George's County's council and served as a counsel for the national law firm specializing in housing. So Ms. Camp is very involved in community service. She serves as pro bono counsel for a number of community organizations, including the Prince George's Tennis and Education Foundation. She also serves as a chairperson for the leadership of Prince George's Vice Chair for the Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation, Census Count Co-Chairperson, Chair for SPICE, Trustee for Maryland Citizens for the Arts, Board Member of the Prince George's African American Museum and Cultural Center, and Panel Member for the Arts in Public Places. Marva Jo Camp has previously served as the president of the Prince George's Arts and Humanities Council and both elected as a member and general counsel for the Democratic Central Committee. So Ms. Camp has been recognized on several occasions for her service with recognitions of including a book titled Outstanding Women of Prince George's County Recognition in Ebony Magazine, 40 Leaders Under 40, 2019 Omega Sci-Fi Citizens of Year Award, Prince George's Chamber and Conference Distinguished Service Award, Mission of Love Charities Humanitarian Award, Volunteer of the Year, Prince George's Chamber of Conference Outstanding Service Recognition, Leadership Prince George's County's Chairman's Award, Dr. William A. Welch Award, and YMCA Distinguished Community Service Award. Ms. Camp grew up in Suitland, Maryland. Her mother was a scholar teacher for over 40 years, and her father is administrator at the St. Elizabeth's Hospital. Marva Jo Camp is a graduate of Eleanor Roosevelt High School. She attended Prince George's Community College during her senior year in high school. She received a BA in Government and Foreign Affairs from the University of Virginia and her JD from University of Virginia School of Law. She is still the mother of Jordan Alexandria, 24, and Taylor Janai, who is 2?
22.
22, okay.
I think about that.
She has lived in Mitchellville for the last 30 years. Marva Jo Camp's memberships include Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the Lynx Incorporated, Jack and Jill of Prince George's County, the J. Franklin Bourne Bar Association, the National Association of Health Services Executives, the Maryland State Bar Association, the District of Columbia Bar Association, and the Supreme Court Bar. So, without further ado, we'd like to pass our mic to Ms. Marva Jo Camp.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be joining you today.
First question, as said before, please share with us, what is it that is cool about your story? Share with us about how you came to Prince George's County and our museum.
Okay, so how I came to Prince George's County. I came in elementary school at a time when African Americans, many were moving from Washington, D.C. into the county. The time we came, there was a lot of racism and a lot of turmoil. There were still restrictive covenants and housing. And so it was a very big deal to move to the county and to see a further integration of the county. I went to school at a school, I think there might have been 3 African Americans along with me at the school, Silver Hill Elementary. And then I went to Longfields Elementary, where my mother taught for over 27 years.
Oh, wow.
I attended Andrew Jackson. Back then it was called junior high school. I guess now everything is called middle school. Mm-hmm. And I was in the first class to attend Eleanor Roosevelt High School. At the time, we never had a high school that started in 9th grade, and we never had a high school that had 7 periods. And while I was there, the school was probably one of the top schools in the country. And I ran track there and was very active, and we probably one of the best track teams in the country as well. One of the things that I love most is that even at an early age, my daughters laugh at me because I knew I wanted to be an attorney by 5th grade. And I had 2 choices, rather. I wanted to be either an attorney or psychiatrist. And when I found that I had to be a doctor first, I decided, well, then lawyer it would be. So I love Prince George's County. I love watching what has happened in its evolution and transformation. In terms of getting to the museum, I think my resume talked about my work with the Maryland Citizens for the Arts and the Arts and Humanities Council and Arts in Public Places. But what it didn't say, I was also on the team that first brought the Arts and Entertainment District to Prince George's County. And as part of that effort, I got very involved with what was going on in the county in the area of arts. And one of the things that really was just terrific, and that was Mayor Beverly, who is a founding member of the museum. And what she was trying to do in terms of making sure that we preserve the history of Prince George's County, I thought was incredible. And one thing about Mayor Beverly, she never takes no for an answer. And so I just absolutely adored her strength and her commitment to this community. And I think she was the first person that told me about Lakeland, which you see as a name as one of the oldest municipalities that's now a part of University of Maryland. And
right.
So making sure that people, myself, my children, and those who come after know the history of Prince George's County is exceedingly important to me. And and so being involved now as a board member has been incredible, because we are able to tell the story, the great stories of Prince George's County, and to educate our residents. So as you call this, Pride of Place. And I'm honored to be a part of that.
We're honored to have you be a part of it. And thank you so much for sharing those details. So with that being said, let's go to our next question. Where is your favorite place in Prince George's County, and what makes it so special to you?
I have so many, and when you said that question, I was like, that's not a fair question. But I think where I'm going to say is probably my house on Swan Road in Suitland, Maryland. It is where I came to Prince George's County. It is the epitome of their transition. When we moved out here, it was rural. nobody would ever see Suitland anymore as rural. It was a place of the possibilities of Prince George's County, where there was racism, then there was integration, where there was no diversity, there was diversity. But I think that home on Swan Road, 3800 Swan Road, was the life that I had there, and the way that my parents raised me and the opportunities they gave me. I still have that special feeling even today. And it's a place that I take my daughters quite regularly so that they can see where I grew up. But also, I tried to buy the house back several times, and I
Right.
guess whoever's living there decided they didn't want to give it up. But for me, that place represents everything that's good about Prince George's County, and about family, and about traditions. So I guess that would be my favorite.
Wow. That's so intriguing. So next question, and by the way, thank you again, because the reason we share these interviews, as you know, is to get the details from people in a much more personable way. You may hear in books about the history of African Americans in Prince George's County, but what you won't hear are the nuances that are found in each little corner of Prince George's County. You don't hear about those powerful stories you just shared, and those things make the space far more enriching. So, that being said, our next question: what is the one thing that you wish others knew about when it comes to African American history and culture in Prince George's County?
You are giving very difficult questions.
We're getting all the facts.
I think it's the richness and diversity
Yeah.
of our history. So often people talk about our history in monolithic terms, but we're so much more. And so you cannot tell the African American story if you don't look at it in a broad way. And sometimes, I tell people that people make decisions about who I am based on the color of my skin,
Right.
and about our history based on where we are. And we are so much more. And so I think I wish they would, instead of just always looking at people's color, take the second, third, fourth, fifth, and on, look at a person and see their soul, and take the time to get to know those individuals and their stories and the richness that they bring to Prince George's County.
Right.
And I guess I'm going to cheat a little bit and just say this. I mean, it's changed some, but I just remember when I was growing up, we were sort of the stepchild to the region, Prince George's County. And I wish they understood how much we've always had in the county, that this kind of surgence of knowing about this majority African American community, it was happening a long time ago, and the stories were happening a long time ago, and people kind of, now they're more familiar with it. They've decided now the history begins. I want them to look deeper and further back to know that our history began a long, long time ago, and the role that we played in making Prince George's County.
That's stellar. That goes into actually the next question, because it's important for people to know the history that happened specifically, so that you can see how it looks like in the future, how you can dreamscape, so to speak. Question number 4: envision the future of Prince George's County 20 years from now. With the history you know of, describe what it will look like 20 years from now.
Diverse, and I can't. So diverse. I think that's one of the things I want. But I also, I guess for me, because I'm really into economic development and kind of cultural development, I want us to be more diverse, not in terms, I mean, we're very diverse in terms of the population, but I don't want us to just be a bedroom community. And I see that changing all the time. So often in Prince George's County, when you look at the statistics, many of us leave Prince George's County to go to work. Then we come home late at night, and then we go back to bed. And in a future place, I want it where you have robust living, robust business. So people, instead of leaving Prince George's County, stay in Prince George's County to enjoy all of the amenities. That means that we're going to see an explosion of restaurants. We're going to see an explosion of town centers. We're going to see an explosion of workforce opportunities. We're going to see an explosion, a further explosion of the culture here, and people know about our culture. And I'll put a little parenthetical here. When we were trying to start the Arts and Entertainment District, and we were working with a nonprofit out of Minnesota and talking about housing, you had to be able to show that for every housing entity that you had at least 3 people for one house, for one unit. We were so far beyond that. And it really started to show that we were a hidden jewel in Prince George's County, that we had so many artists. So instead of just thinking about Washington, D.C., Baltimore as a cultural hub, we realized a lot of people, like a David Driscoll, was in Prince George's County. And so in this new place, I wanted to be where people stay here, but people know us for all of us and not just little pieces of us. And if that happens, I think you will see, to use my word again, an explosion, further explosion of people wanting to come in Prince George's County. And then I guess 20 years later, for me, as you mentioned, I have 2 daughters, Jordan and Taylor. I want, for our young people, I want my daughter 20 years from now to say this is still their home. And so I want us to create this place where they'll want to stay here because of everything that it has to offer. They stay now because they love family. I want them to stay also because there's so much here that no place in the country, in the world, could compare to Prince George's County.
That's a good word. That's worth hearing. And that goes into our 5th question and final question. If you could summarize Prince George's County in 3 words, what words would you use?
Best place ever.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. Best place ever. That's what's up. That's the quickest, and that does sum it up pretty well. So with that being said, wow, there's so many rich details that you shared in a rather short amount of time. And I thank you again. We, with the Prince George's African American Museum and Cultural Center, thank you for sharing all these details, because they are really critical for people to understand all the richness that is present in one spot.
Well, I want to thank you all, because I think it is just so important that we tell our stories. And the fact that you are doing these is just very, very important. And I salute and honor you for what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, guys out there who have chosen to listen to this particular broadcast, we thank you for that. We thank you also for supporting what we're doing by sharing your stories with us. We thank you again for taking time to engage with us in these amazing interviews. We want you to tune in next week for another one, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I just say one other thing?
Of course, by all means.
Sorry, because I wouldn't. I said I had daughters, 2 daughters. Well, I just got a puppy, and
Oh, that's cool.
his name is Bentley, and we'll turn 1 on May 31st. And through all of this chaos, it's so nice to have family around. But having this little puppy who just sees the world with these little puppy dog eyes, it just reminds you of the innocence, that is still around in this world. And so I mention that because we are in terrible crisis right now. But we can take every day to count our blessings and say for what we have, and to pray for those who are just going through so much more. Then I would be remiss not to say, let's do that, because it's really hard out here right now. And I just totally blessed to have family and to be safe.
Absolutely.
We agree 100%. And that's also part of why we're doing these particular community discussions with interviews, because people need to see the richness, specifically in terms of things to be thankful for in their backyard.
That's right.
Not see because they're either used to seeing the same community all the time, they never stop to think about how someone else is seeing it, or they may not know because, as you mentioned, in a bedroom community, that's the word you used. they're used to working and going to bed and waking up and never being able to stop and hear someone else say, hey, please know that I see you and you should see me because what we have is beautiful.
That's right. That's well said.
So again, thank you guys for tuning into this particular discussion. Tune in next week for another broadcast as we continue with our Pride of Place Parlour virtual tour. We're honored and blessed by all the people who have chosen to share, who will share in the future as they talk about the ways they take pride in the place that Prince George's County occupies. So thank you guys, and we'll tune in next week.